Hello, hello, my fellow creatives. Hello, everybody. So, quick announcement before we hop into the episode. I recorded this a long time ago. Okay, a long time ago. Let me see when I recorded this. Where was the date? I'm sorry, I just saw the date. I recorded this May 2025. Damn near a whole year ago, child. Why didn't I post it? I don't know. But I definitely took a long break from YouTube. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to start showing up more consistently. And I'm excited to kick it off with this episode on creative depression. I really hope you guys like it. I was going through it. And it was just some really great moment to kind of reflect back on prior Healing Creative podcast episodes that I've done before. And just re-listen to it and see if there's anything that could help me right then and there in the moment. I actually do that a lot. Sometimes I do a whole podcast episode and I had all that wisdom and insights and I completely forgot. I completely forgot everything that I said. And so when those feelings bubble up again, yeah, I re-listen and oftentimes it helps me feel better. So yeah, here's the episode. Hope you like it. Let me know in the comment section down below. And enjoy the Healing Creative Podcast.
Hello, my fellow creatives. Welcome. I am Imani the writer, and this is the Healing Creative Podcast, where I, a Black girl creative, take you along my healing journey. Feel free to join me. Today, I have a lot on my mind. Ooh, my hair got stuck just now. By the way, this is a steamer. I'm steaming my face. I'm very stressed. So the steam is nice. I have a lot on my mind, and I just felt like just speaking from the heart today. I don't really have a plan. I don't really have a script, but I do have a topic. What? Let me stop lying. I have like a plan. I have like a basic plan, but I've been feeling creator anxiety again. Well, not even creator anxiety. It's more so like creative depression. And when I say creator, I'm specifically talking about like my performance on YouTube and stuff. I've been feeling depressed about that. So it's a little bit different than creator anxiety. I feel like my feelings around it are a little bit different than what I talked about in my previous creator anxiety episode. But I did some journaling about it and that kind of made me start to feel a little bit better. But I still felt like a little down. But I thought it would be a really cool idea to actually re-listen to that episode of creator anxiety that I made a while back. And I've had this idea for the podcast for a minute, just because this has happened before where I know that I find myself sad or depressed or just having insecurities bubble up on a topic that I've made a podcast episode about before. And I was just like, wait, I've talked about this before, but I forgot what it was that I said that kind of helped me shift my perspective a little bit. And then I would re-listen to that podcast again. And I'm like, I immediately heard the exact things that I needed to hear in that moment. This podcast, which is also very healing to the very thing that I'm upset about right now, which is just frustrated with how slow the creator journey is going on YouTube. Just feeling a little stuck with the stagnation going on with my channel, with my social media, with my online presence in general, and feeling discouraged, feeling like I should give up. But that alone, the fact that I can go back and listen to podcast episodes that I made before to help me now, whenever those feelings bubble up again, is a sign in and of itself that I should keep going. If not for anyone else, then for me. And if it's already helpful to me, it could be helpful to someone else. So it's just keep putting it back out there. And I'm trying to just detach myself from worrying too much about the goal, or worrying too much about getting monetized, worrying too much about making my dreams come true. Because I would love for them to happen. At this point, it's kind of just like, if they happen, they happen. I got a good job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be all right. And this job is helping me crush a lot of my financial goals and make really big shifts and changes happen in my own life. So I'll keep working towards the thing just because it brings me joy. You know what I mean? But anyway, what are we going to actually do today? What we're going to do is I am going to react essentially to this podcast episode because I completely forgot what I said. I didn't say it that long ago, but I completely forgot what I said. And let's try and see if it can be helpful to me in this moment see if I have any additional things to add. I did do a little bit of journaling, so I want to talk about the things that came up in my journaling today. Also, fun thing that I want to start incorporating into my channel more. I love cards. I love cards. I love packs of cards, decks of cards with like affirmations on them, with Bible verses on them. So I just have like a few random ones. I've been using them for so long that the covers on the boxes are rough, but like they have this one has like a bunch of Bible verses on them. I have two others with, well, these two packs were from the same pack, but like one is horizontal and the other one is vertical. So I separated them for that purpose. But I have two other packs of Bible verse cards here. I have a pack of affirmations cards here. Some of those are really, really helpful. I also really like oracle decks as well. The purpose of me doing that, sometimes they just serve as visual prompts. When I'm upset, when I'm working through something in my journaling practice, I just shuffle and see what Bible verse comes out or an affirmation that comes out to see if it can be helpful to me in my process, to help me, if I can apply it to the situation in some way, if I can yield some wisdom from it in some way. And oftentimes I can. Like, it is actually strikingly incredible how often I can. Oops, sorry. I'm apologizing to you. Like, I pushed you when I pushed the I'm sorry. I'm a mess. But it's surprisingly incredible how often I am able to shift my perspective around and see the situation in a different light. So every time I pause, this is what I'm going to do. Every time I pause the podcast episode that I'm going to react to today and share some thoughts on it, I'm going to pick a pack of cards, shuffle it, see what comes out, and see what I can glean from it. So I really don't know. Like, I know what we're going to discuss, but I don't know what's going to come out. I don't know what insights we'll find, but I'm excited to get into it. So let's do that. I'm also going to be moisturizing my hair in the process because I find that to be a very healing and enjoyable process to do while I'm under the steam. So yeah, this is some extreme multitasking going on right here. Like, I got so much going on this desk, but it's fine. We're going to work with it. We're going to work with it. It's going to be great. All right, let's start.
Hello, my fellow creatives. Welcome. I am Manny the Writer, and this is the Healing Creative Podcast, where I, a Black girl creative, take you along my healing journey. Feel free to join me. So the topic of today's podcast is creator anxiety. I wanted to talk about it because I actually had a panic attack yesterday around creator anxiety, especially when it comes to like content creation for social media. And the moment I felt really disappointed in myself because I thought that I was done with this. I thought that I was done with this, but I had to kind of just learn to accept that the things that I feel the most anxiety around, I have to be okay with not necessarily them going away all at once, all together in one fell swoop, but to just recognize that even though these insecurities bubble up, I am having a faster turnaround, which is a sign of healing. You know, instead of something bothering me for a week, it just bothers me for a couple of days. Instead of something bothering me for a couple of days, it just bothers me for one day. Instead of something bothering me for one day, it's just a couple of hours, so on and so forth. That is still progress. And maybe one day things will just kind of wrap up and this issue that's bothering me won't bother me anymore.
I do want to kind of speak on what I said before about accepting that this is just part of the journey and part of the reality, and that healing doesn't always look like not being bothered by a thing completely anymore, like in one fell swoop. I agree. I agree with my former self from like 3 months ago. Sometimes progress just looks like lessening, like decreasing your reaction time, or your just the time that you're not reaction, recovery time. That's the word I'm looking for. When you see a decrease in your recovery time, that's progress. And that progress is very meaningful and important. And I definitely can attest to that healing happening a lot faster, that recovery time decreasing over time, even since that podcast episode. Like, that creator anxiety thing, it used to bother me for days, bro. It used to be all up in my head. But so far, it's only been today. It hasn't crossed into tomorrow. And I'm very confident, but by the end of, I took a nap too, and that helped. Make sure you guys are sleeping. Make sure you're getting your good rest. Make sure that you are eating and exercising. I hadn't been doing all that stuff well lately because I had sprained my ankle, and it's still kind of sprained. I'm supposed to elevate it right now, but like after a while, it starts to, your knees start to lock and just feel weird when it's just been elevated for a while. So just crisscross applesauce for now. But it was hard to take care of myself, but it's healing and getting better. So I'm slowly starting to come back. So taking care of myself also just helped tremendously for sure. Let's pull out a card. I'm going to use this deck because it feels in alignment with what I just mentioned, just like decreasing your reaction time and stuff. It's called Your Feelings Are Valid Oracle deck. Can you see? Yeah. Something fell on the floor immediately. Like I barely started shuffling. You are deserving. Happy cards don't usually come out for me in this deck. And I don't even think I've ever seen that one before. You are deserving. How do I apply it to this situation? I think that I deserve to not be so hard on myself. And I deserve to be proud of myself for the ways that I've grown tremendously on this Healing Creative podcast, on my healing creative journey in general. I am deserving of the joy and the peace of knowing that I've been putting in my all. And to not be so hard on myself for like the lack of numbers working in my favor when my heart is healing, when my heart is feeling better, when my friends, people I love, listen to this podcast. Actually, I have a friend, Kristen. Hey, if you're listening, if you're watching, hey. She said was it this episode? She mentioned like one of the episodes or two of the episodes that she listened to that actually helped her through a really tough time emotionally. And I think it was either this one or the one where I talked about like ugly emotions. And that means something to me, you know? Like all I want is to share what's helped me in the hopes that it would help someone else. And even though I'm not getting a lot of feedback from social media, I don't get a lot of comments that it's been helpful. The fact that I made it and shared it with a loved one and it helped them through a tough time when I couldn't be there. We're not getting emotional. We're not doing that. We're not run it back, bitch. We're not, no. But the fact that it could help her through a very difficult time when I couldn't physically be, because it's a long distance friendship. So the fact that I could help her and it's not like I was on the phone. It was not like I was like, you know what I mean? But the fact that it could help her even when I can't be there to help her, that means something to me so much. I help someone that I love and care for deeply. So I can never sit here and say that what I'm doing here is a waste of time. It wasn't a waste of time. You are deserving. So I deserve to feel the joy of that. I deserve to feel proud of that. I'm going to give myself permission to. I have a way of just going on to the next, on to the next, on to the next a lot. So I'm going to start doing that more. I don't have an outline. I just have my journal. So I'll just read to you what I wrote down in my journal yesterday about how I was feeling. Wait.
Question, what do you feel?
Not me not having an outline. I didn't write a script for this one either. I just have my journal. There's something about this topic where whenever it bubbles up in my life, I have to talk about it right then and there without doing the whole process of writing a whole script and planning out my thoughts. It's just something I have to address right then and there. What is that? What is that? That's something I have to think about. There's something there. There's a pattern there that I have to think about, but let's shuffle for it, actually. I said I would do it every time that I pause. I have to shuffle. This one is the whole fucking title is gone, but it's on the guidebook. Work Your Light Oracle deck. Let's see what happens. Go shuffling backwards, bitch. Come on, get it together. Protection. Call back your power, cut the cord. So the fact that whenever this topic comes up, I feel the need to talk about it right then and there and to not let it linger. To address it is a form of protection, maybe. I see that. Because the longer I let myself linger there, the less likely I am to be productive, to be creative, to let myself work. You know what I mean? The longer I let those feelings just like take up space without addressing them and letting them be, but then letting them go, the longer I am away from my true love, which is creativity, which is writing, which is art. And that's actually really true. The past few weeks, I really haven't been as creative as I usually am. I've been trying to challenge myself to do a little something every day, but I've been watching YouTube. I've just been sitting up in the bed watching YouTube about topics that were upsetting to me because I think I was just feeling so negatively about what's been going on, about like the status of my YouTube channel, that it's kind of discouraged me from actively creating and actively scripting and actively thinking about things I want to talk about. And it also discourages me from my other creative hobbies, from my other creative interests. And so it is a form of protection to address things right then and there, because the longer it drags, the less I'm being creative. And like I've said before, creativity is an essential part of the healing process for me. I think I mentioned it in this very podcast at some point. Wow. I have to get better at that then. I have to get better at that, at addressing the things that are holding me back, that make me feel insecure about my creative journey, that make me want to stop, that make me want to give up, because it's not just about making the dreams come true. It's not just about getting the numbers. It's essential to my mental health. And I have to stop neglecting that is the reality. That is who I am. And that is what I need. It is essential to my quality of life, to my gratitude, to my life satisfaction. It's essential. And I have to stop ignoring that for sure.
And my answer was, I feel anxious and self-conscious. I'm scared that I'm investing all this time and energy into something that is not going to work. I'm working so hard on the podcast and all the content that I create, and I never get much tangible results. Now I'm starting over with this new idea that I really, really like and resonate with, but I feel like I'm making so many mistakes. And there are content creators who started their content creation journey way after I did, and they overtook me already. And they're already part of the YouTube Partner Program, which I'm not. I'm afraid that that will never happen for me. I don't have anywhere near the watch hours I would need to make that happen for me. I'm afraid that this is all for nothing. Okay. So that's what I wrote down for how I felt. And let me just take a minute to kind of speak on that for a little bit more and give you guys context for it. I don't know why I was so obsessed with it. Maybe just because for the past couple of days, I really have been working on the podcast a lot, writing out new outlines and scripts, and also going through my analytics a lot. I think I need to just not go through my analytics at the end of fucking March. Like, this needs to be a once a month thing. I touch it once a month to see how things are going, to see what ideas are working, see maybe if I can just like improve certain things, try something new, whatever. Other than that, I need to just not even look at it. It's crazy. I'm a data analyst. That's my day job. And I feel like I need to kind of treat it like we do at work, where it's like a quarterly report type situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, the client isn't going through the analytics every day, trying to figure out what's going on. Reporting is something we do quarterly. And we go into the data and we make our decks and we create our insights to present to the clients on a quarterly basis, except for one where we might do it monthly. So I think this is why I need to do monthly. Like, once a month, going into the data, seeing what's happening, and then creating insights from that. This cannot be like, I would actively look into the analytics every day, sometimes several times a day, just to track if there are any changes happening. I'm like, girl, no. And then when I don't see results, depresses me as if something was supposed to change from the last 5 seconds. You know what I mean? Isn't that crazy? You know, just feeling super depressed.
Oh my God, that's so true. I want to speak on that and elaborate a little bit about my job. We are QAing to make sure like data's pulling in right consistently, like multiple times a week, usually twice a week. But like the actual day-to-day work, it ain't even all that, like trying to look at the data and make decisions about what's happening from a marketing perspective. It's kind of like day-to-day, it's usually maintenance to make sure that everything is coming in correctly. And then when the reporting cycle is happening, then we start doing the whole let's pull data and actually write insights about like what happened and why it happened the way that it happened. Ooh, I have taken a bit of an approach, and I'm learning so much from my job too. That's really, really cool. I just kind of was inspired by the decks that I would create with my team for the client. And every deck for every client is different, I guess, because they ask for different things. Sometimes they want different things that mattered most to them. So I didn't because what I'm doing is on YouTube. So I kind of just decided to kind of take this approach. I'm just like, okay, I like that we are pulling in data month over month. I like the way the charts look, and we're deciding like, okay, these are the channels that are working very effectively. And we're seeing that in the chart. We're seeing all the visits, and we're seeing which channels they're coming from in the bar for every month, January, February. I like the way that we do some of those charts and everything like that. Is there something I can do like that to kind of improve my relationship with the analytics? So I'm not looking at it obsessively every day, and I'm looking at it in a new way. Can I make these charts for myself? Can I make similar but not exactly the same, because I'm looking at different stuff, charts for myself to help me look at what's happening in my analytics in a different way, in a way that's a little bit more meaningful to me? Because while the analytics gives us a lot of information, they have their own way of showing you that information. And so do all the other platforms that I work with at work, like Datorama and Google Analytics. But we take that data and tell the story behind it in our own way and in the way that the client prefers. So I actually took stock of like, okay, what's important to me? What do I prefer? You know, what's actually indicative of something working for me? Which is so funny because the original thing that upset me was like the subscriber count, was the follower count. Like I've been losing followers and subscribers, which makes sense because I shifted. I'm doing the Healing Creative podcast now. I haven't been doing diversity writing content as much. By the way, check out Gling AI if you are a content creator and you want to edit a video super, super fast. The AI program does a lot of the heavy lifting for you in terms of video editing. It can cut out awkward pauses, awkward silences, bad takes. It can add B-roll. It can clean up your audio. It can help you with the subtitles. It automatically transcripts for you, and you can very easily make corrections when you need to make corrections. It saves me hours upon hours. It's the only reason I'm able to show up every single week in the way that I do. So check it out. There's a link in the description box below. And if you do so, if you use that link, it will definitely support the channel, and I would deeply appreciate it if you do. So yeah, check out Gling AI, check out CapCut Pro. I think, especially if you work full time like I do, it'll be really helpful for you, for sure. Yeah. But like I said, I was getting so caught up in like losing subscribers. Even though I understand why it's happening, because I'm shifting my content, that's completely normal. I just perceived that as like a rejection. Like people are rejecting me. They don't want to follow me anymore. They don't like what I'm doing. They don't like me anymore, which for one is not necessarily true. But even if it was true, who cares? At this point, this is who I am. I feel like as much as I love diversity writing content and I want to explore it more again, I have to figure out how I want to do that in a way that's more sustainable. I thought about like, should I create a second channel? And I was like, bitch, you don't have the capacity to start a second channel. It's a lot just to show up consistently on this channel. No, what we can do is maybe I can have 2 podcasts for the diversity writing content. Maybe I can do that. We can have the Healing Creative podcast and I don't know, well, I'll call it maybe the Culture Craft Project. I don't know, or the Culture Craft Podcast or whatever, because that's the name of the business. Maybe I'll call it that. And that's an idea I'm tinkering around with. But I'm losing the plot here. I'm rambling. The point is, I lost myself in like the subscriber thing, right? And it just really fucked with my head this time. Last time, I don't necessarily think it was the subscriber count that was bothering me, but today, that's what was bothering me. But I actually thought about things like as a marketer, I had to remove my emotions from the situation and just approach this like I do at work, like in my actual corporate marketing job. I had to be like, girl, yes, increasing your subscriber count is important, but is it the KPI? Is it really the most impactful metric for you to be tracking? What's actually the most important KPI for you and your goals? And for me, it's the watch hours, it's the CTR and average view percentage, average view duration. Like I had to actually think of like, what does success look like for me? What are my actual goals and what are the metrics that make the most like sense to track? The subscriber count does not make the most sense to track. So I just need to just not deal with it. And then I'm making my own reports. So I'm putting together my own decks, putting together my own charts, putting together my own tables and stuff so that I can look at the data provided in the analytics in a way that's more meaningful to me and my goals and what I want. The subscriber count has nothing to do with anything that I'm tracking anymore. So it was just like, girl, why are you getting so upset over it? It's not even a KPI. You know what I mean? Like it's not important. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to track it. While I want to build a community, and that's really what I really would love is to build a community here, I have to be willing to let go of the people who didn't want this side of me. You know what I mean? They wanted the girl that's going to tell them how to write good Black characters. That's what they wanted. And she's still here. She still exists and she'll pop out every now and then. But this is the real me. I need people who want the real me, you know? I need to be willing to let go of the people who don't resonate with that and invite the people who do so that the people who do can come in and take their place. You know, even though like I'm losing followers, I'm gaining followers in such a way that it's just like the number kind of just stays the same, at least on YouTube. On TikTok, it's a little bit of a different story. But I ever since TikTok was banned, I had plans to use this YouTube channel. It's just like, okay, we're forgetting TikTok. So even when TikTok came back like the next day, I was like, girl, I was already emotionally prepared to lose this thing.
I'll still post there and I schedule with like Buffer or on the TikTok app, but I'm not going on the app myself. I'm not responding to comments. Well, maybe I will like once a month. I don't know. But like, I was prepared to let this go for a reason because I'm on a new path. But yeah, so I just checked today after months for the first time in 2025, and I've lost a lot of followers. And I'm not gaining them in the same rate, which makes sense. And that's fine. But that's what's happening here for a reason. And that's okay. That's more than okay. You know, which deck do I pull from now? We're going to use the Wild Muse Oracle deck today. See what comes up. I felt like this one because, I don't know, Wild Muse has a way of just like the relationship I have with this deck. It just kind of has a way of snapping me on and be like, girl, come on now. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the energy that I feel like when I'm talking about like worrying about these KPIs. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens. Oh, I got two. We got two. What do we get? What do we get? Oh, we got On Fire and Claim Your Energy. Don't these look like complete opposites? It's like fire and air almost. What can I take from this? Yeah, it's like claim that energy, like girl. You know what I mean? And I have to admit, like, I'm on fire. I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. I've shown up. I don't know what episode this is, but I've counted at this point in terms of with all the episodes that are currently out, plus the ones that I've scheduled in advance. I think this is episode 18. I've been posting on YouTube every week for 18 weeks straight. That has literally never happened before. And that's amazing. And I'm proud of myself for that. I'm insanely proud of myself for that. Yeah. Yeah, the cards speak for themselves. That card spoke for itself. Let's move on. Let's keep going.
Is that really what I want? Because I am having a good time at my job right now, and it's a corporate role.
That's true.
A lot of people don't have positive things to say about corporate role, especially corporate marketing, and especially Black people, and especially Black women. So for me to be having such a great time at my job and to be learning a lot and getting along with everybody, that's a blessing. It's just, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, maybe I'm just bitching and moaning, you know what I'm saying? But no, like my feelings are valid. My feelings are valid. I've been trying to make this content creation thing work for several years now, especially when I was in the thick of it, like when I didn't have a job and I was getting rejected left and right. I was just like trying everything, doing YouTube and doing TikTok, putting out job applications and trying to do whatever I can to make something stick. You know what I mean? But it still makes me sad that, and it makes me wonder if I'm doing something wrong because this content creator started her journey well after me. I think just a year ago. And I'm just like, okay, what am I doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? Especially, and I took courses. I took courses on YouTube marketing, which I don't regret. I don't. I'm just like, dang. And then I know the areas that are the weakest links for me. The areas are definitely like consistency, which is why podcasting and starting this new podcast will at the very least, even though I'm starting completely from scratch again, essentially rebranding again, this will allow me to show up as my authentic self for one. And for two, show up consistently because creating the content is much easier. But anyway, yeah, I was feeling like shit.
Listen,
and I just started obsessing. And
I just have to say, it's so fun. I'm just like, yup. I be forgetting that I said the things that I said. I'm just like, I wonder what I said that would be helpful to me. But in actuality, like I'm saying the same things again. Now I'm realizing like, I'm not doing anything wrong. This is just the journey. You know, we're not going to pull a card for that because that was super quickly.
That's the thing about depression and anxiety. They both make you no longer want to do the things that make you happy, no longer want to do the things that make you feel good, feed your soul, things you actually want to do. Depression just makes you want to sit in bed and do nothing all day because it just drains you of your energy and your will to live.
And that's what I wanted to talk about because what I'm feeling wasn't creator anxiety. It was creative depression. That's what was a little bit different. I'm glad that I'm hearing things that can be helpful to me despite that, but that's the difference between then and now. This isn't creator anxiety that I'm feeling. That's creator depression. And that's exactly what happened. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to do any of the things, any of the creative things I wanted to do. I just wanted to watch other creators on YouTube thriving and depress myself further. That's what I wanted to do. That's apparently, do I know why? No. That's apparently what I wanted to do. I don't know. But yeah, it sucks. Let's talk about creative depression. Like, let's pull a card for that. Let's do a Bible verse this time. Let's see what happens. If you want any of these cards, I'll put them in the description box below.
I can find them, because I've had some of these for years now, especially the Bible ones. And fun fact, I love cards with Bible verses on them. I still have my Bible and I read my Bible, but my personal method of devotionals looks like this, with Bible study, with Bible verses. Because sometimes you open the Bible and you see something that's just like out of pocket or just triggering or something, you know what I mean? But the cards that they tend to print for, the verses that they tend to print for these cards tend to be the most popular ones, the most positive ones. These are the verses that just give me the most wisdom personally. So I appreciate shuffling around and asking God to just show me something, show me the verse that I need to hear right now. We got Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. I'm going to read it. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. It's interesting that this card came out when discussing creator depression, because I feel tired when that happens. I feel exhausted, like I can't get out of bed. I can't be bothered doing the thing that I absolutely love doing that actually gives me energy, because I'm just so tired of feeling like, what's the point? The wisdom that I can get from this is that I need to go to God when that hope feels lost, because that's where my strength will come from. God will renew my strength. And all of a sudden I'll be a busybody. I'll be up and about doing everything, soaring on wings like eagles, running and never growing weary, walking and never being faint. God will restore the inspiration that I need to move forward. God will remind me who I am. He'll remind me of my purpose. He'll remind me of the gifts that he's blessed me with and why. That's what I need in those moments when that creative depression comes. I need to remember my why. I need to remember who I am, who I've always been, who I want to be, and that there is a purpose in that, and that there is a purpose in why I'm here, and that there is a purpose and why I am a creative, and there is a purpose in God instilling in me the desire to share that process, even though it's not what made me popular on TikTok, even if it's not what my analytics is saying is doing well right now, even if nobody hears it right now, there's a reason why this inspiration is in me to create the content, to put it out there. If not for anyone else, then for me and my loved ones in my life to hear it and to find healing and peace and love and empathy and understanding from me to them in the moments where I can't be there for them. You show up for everyone else, but when it's time to be kind to yourself, sometimes that feels kind of impossible. I've struggled with that too, which is why I created the Empathy Letter Worksheet, a simple yet powerful way to practice self-love through letter writing. It gently guides you to write a letter to yourself, one filled with care and compassion and the understanding that you specifically need and deeply deserve. So you'll define what empathy looks like for you, build your own empathy formula, and craft a letter that you can revisit at any time, whenever you need a reminder that you are loved and that you are enough. This is an incredible gift that you can give to yourself. So grab your copy of the Empathy Letter Worksheet today. Links are in the description box below. Listening to these podcasts that I've created is a way for me, because sometimes, I do my empathy letters, I do my prayers, I do my meditations, but sometimes I just can't sit still and be restful and peaceful and calm enough to sort through my emotions. And I'm doing what I'm doing now, listening to this podcast episode as a way for me to be there for myself when I don't even have the energy to be there for myself right now. And that's beautiful and that's meaningful. And numbers can't quantify how priceless that is. And I have to remember that. Whew. Let's keep going.
There are things that I can try and do differently, and I have to approach it with a level of curiosity and creativity and experimentation instead of this anxious energy of trying to make something go the way that I want it to, because it's not going to serve me. I'm always going to keep being disappointed, But yeah, what else did I write? That one podcast episode I did on ugly emotions, right? I talked about radical acceptance. I talked about asking yourself, what do you think this emotion means about you versus what does it actually mean about you, right? I decided to take that and apply it to this situation. I decided to take those same 2 prompts and write about them. So what do you think this means about you? I wrote down the fact that my content creation journey has been going so slowly and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. makes me feel like I'm a failure. Then I took a breath and wrote down, what does it actually mean about me? I'm accepting that that's just not true. That's what I think it means. But what does it actually mean? And this is what I wrote. It means, and I'm talking to myself, it means you're a human being trying something new. Yes, you've been working on content creation heavily for 3 years, but you started this podcast less than 3 weeks ago, which is so bitch. Like,
Oh, dang. This was really early in I'm still early in my healing creative journey here on YouTube, here on the podcast. But that was literally 3 weeks in. Dang, it's about to be 6 months in. This was one I batched for sure, but it was only 3 weeks in. Oh gosh. I don't even think I have anything to say about that. It was just surprising to me to hear. Wow.
Awesome perspective. You've been at content creation for 3 years, but this new venture, it's just been 3 weeks. And I wrote down the point of my 3-year journey is to compel me to learn new skills that will allow me to start over fresh and create new content that is actually aligned with who I am, who I want to be, and who I want to attract. Now, I love the diversity writing content, and I still offer my diversity writing services, but I was keeping myself in a box, doing that alone. And that content takes so much work to create.
My
Good
God.
God. Research, the planning, the filming, the screen recording sometimes, and the editing. It will take days upon days upon days, but a podcast episode can be done in a day, 2 days tops. And I'm getting to talk about the things that are on my soul, the things that are in my spirit, talk about things that matter to me. And I deeply wanted to, because that part where it says to create content that aligns with who I am, who I want to be, and who I want to attract. That's so important, because I was just thinking, like, what is my why? Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to create this kind of content? What's my why? And what are my reasons that have nothing to do with numbers and subscribers and accolades and money? What is the why that has everything to do with what is in my heart? One, I want to do this because I know I have something of value to say. That is so much more than just diversity writing content. The things in my heart, the things in my soul, the things in my spirit, the things that have healed me. Because I share these things with my friends and they're like, that's so amazing. That's so wise. That's so helpful. I love that idea. I want to share them with everyone. I want to talk about the things that make me feel alone, because I know that I'm not alone. And I'm hoping that if I share my story, I can reach out to people who have similar experiences as me, and maybe we can build a community. That's the ticket, community. I don't necessarily care about followers and subscribers. I just want to know that if there's somebody out there that's like me, that like the things I like, that struggle with the things I struggle with. I want more friends like me. And I have friends that are like me in certain ways, but there are other ways that's just like not tapped into. And I need community. Even though I'm okay with just speaking into the ether, though, but that's fine. But I want to connect with people who got me. Nobody comments. Please comment something to let me know that you're here. Just say the words, I'm here. Please, so that I know somebody's here. So that I know somebody's here with me. You don't have to like the video. You don't have to even just say I'm here, so that I know somebody is here and that I'm not just speaking out into the ether and not being met with anything back. You know?
Oh gosh, it used to bother me so much that no one would ever comment. But at the same time, you don't have to comment if you don't want to. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You can just enjoy watching. You know, most people who watch and don't comment are usually resonating, but just aren't making it known just yet. That's my reality all the time. So yeah, like I can hear in my voice how deeply I wanted community, and that desire is definitely still there. Let me pull a card for that. I don't know what to say about that, because I'm just like, yeah, that's true. I do want community, and I am a little frustrated that that's been a bit hard for me to make happen. I feel like it's an affirmation card. Oh gosh. I think it's these two. They nearly fell on the floor. Oh gosh. And this one too slipped out in my hand. I got 3 in 1. My gosh. Okay, let's see. All that I seek is already within me. I will celebrate my small wins. I have the courage to be the happiest, healthiest version of myself. It starts with me. Creating that community, it starts with me. It starts with me continuing to put myself out there on YouTube. It also looks like me putting myself out there in person. That's a lot of work.
where I currently am, being so remote and isolated from everybody. But so in a lot of ways, I've kind of just resigned myself to just be like, let's just wait until we move. Because then you'll be in a city, you can be able to move around, you can be able to do things on weekends, you can be able to go anywhere and do anything and seek out classes and communities where people have the same hobbies as you. Like you can do a lot more socially to create a community around you when you move. But for now, what I can do is continue to nurture the friendships that I have, nurture the friendship I have with myself, and put myself out there here and be my most authentic self here and trust that it will attract the people that will resonate with me. Yeah, there's nothing to it but to do it, yeah? There's nothing else to say, We just have to, just the approach that we have to have to community creation around us. Yeah.
Being able to make a living and everything like that when the algorithm wants you to cater to it instead of to you. You know what I mean? So you just listen to a podcast on this. Our subscriber count is 50K. Oh, Stefco. I love Stefco so much. She is a story type creator, 80K. She's mentioned in multiple videos how her content creation journey has not been linear at all, how her way of showing up authentically isn't necessarily like influencer friendly. It's just her being vulnerable and selling her story and everything like that. And because of that, she's kind of given up on the idea of ever reaching 100K because like it's just her experience is so unique to her and to the people who can relate and everything like that. It's not necessarily digestible to the masses. You know what I mean? But I admire her so much. And even though her subscriber count is 80,000, I haven't even met 1,000 yet, 80,000, and she still has those same feelings. Christina Aaliyah is at 100K. And even she made videos about this topic, about seeing other content creators overtake you when they started later than you did and feeling insecure and feeling like you're not enough and all these things. Like this might not be a feeling that will ever actually go away. So what can we do to just accept it and let it stay and just accept that it's not going anywhere, but to just kind of find a home in it that allows you to kind of just accept that this is the situation, that this is just how the game goes, to be at peace with it and still be authentic and feel good with it anyway. And ship with this algorithm. How can I have one that's beneficial to me, allows me to be authentic and not feel like I'm less than, What else did I write down? Let's see. I wrote down 2 lists. This one list, I wrote down a list of all the things that I think I need to do better as a content creator. And then I went down each list and asked myself, do I actually want to do those things? And I'll share them with you for now. This is kind of how I'm feeling for now. Number 1, I feel like I need to actually film again so that people can see me. I feel like I need to just get straight into the topic as soon as the video starts. Number 3, I feel like I need to put more thought into the titles and generate more titles that will be more eye-catching. Number 4, to put more thought into thumbnails. And number 5, to stay consistent. Number 6, to stop meandering as much as I do. Number 7, to edit out. If I do meander or ramble, to edit those parts out. Those are the things that I felt like insecure about, like things I felt like I might need to do to start performing better on the algorithm and everything like that. And I asked myself, do I actually want to do these things? Because at the end of the day, I have my job. You know what I mean? I don't have to. Everything that I do for this journey, it has to be something that I want to do. So do I want to do those things? Number 1, do I want to film so people can see me? No. At the very least, I don't want that to be an everyday thing. Like that's going to be a once in a blue moon thing. I'm sorry. Podcasting.
It's so ironic that I'm listening to myself say, do I want to film again? No. And I'm literally on camera right now.
Things change, yeah, don't they? Isn't that insane? Now I'm back to filming again. I don't know if I'm back to doing it all the time, but sometimes I want to see you guys. And sometimes I want you guys to see me. More so. I want you guys to see me and who I am. Yeah, I think a lesson that I can get from that too is that things change and I change. I change my mind. I change my mind about things I want to do, things I want to try. And to just be open to those shifts. Just because I feel one way about the way that I'm approaching my creator journey today doesn't mean I won't change my mind about it a couple months down the line, And that's part of creativity. Letting yourself be flexible enough to change. Letting yourself be flexible enough to try something new, to follow your heart and to follow your soul. That's what it's all about. Let's pull another. I just felt like this is an affirmation kind of question. Let's see. I love these. This one's my favorite. This one says, I am open to receive. Isn't that rose so pretty? And I deserve love, compassion, and empathy. I have to be open to receiving good things at any time, in any way, from any place. Sometimes I'm very fixed on I want to do things this way. I have to do things this way. But being open to being flexible, to being fluid, being open to change your mind, being open to see how things just flow and to experiment can help me be open to receiving the kind of community that I want to create in any form or fashion. It doesn't have to come in one way, and I have to open my mind to success happening in more ways than I imagine and the ways I script in my own mind, because there are limitations to my imaginations, but there's not any limitation to the creator's imagination. And I guess there's no limitations on my imagination. The only limitations on my imaginations are the ones created by me. But I'm recognizing that I'm limiting my imagination sometimes in trying to be realistic and trying to be, you know what I mean? Trying to be realistic, pretty much. So I have to be open. I have to be open to life surprising me. I have to be open to life showing me that it doesn't have to happen in the precise way that I say so. Life surprised me with this job, bro. I really didn't know what to expect, and there no way in hell I was going to expect this. Now, it's not all fine, dandy, and rosy and everything, but this is way better than I initially imagined it would be, and I'm really grateful for that. I deserve love, compassion, and empathy. I have to show myself that love, compassion, and empathy every step of the way. I have to do better about that. But at the same time, it's kudos to me for the ways that I have been, for the ways that I make empathy letters a natural part of my routine every time something bothers me, with the way that I listen back to my podcast episodes, and the empathy framework that I've created is embedded in the way that I approach my podcast. So I get to hear back loving and empathetic energy towards myself. The way that I journal, the way that I use these cards, the way that I meditate, the way that I pray, everything, there's love and empathy embedded in all of that. So I'm doing just fine, actually. I just have to keep it up and just keep remembering that in those moments where I feel a little bit lower than usual.
And at the end of the day, what is this? It's the Healing Creative Podcast, where I,
a Black girl creative, take you along my healing journey.
The journey is not going to be linear. That journey is going to meander. So I'm going to let myself meander. This is my healing journey. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be polished. That's not what it's for, you know? No one's healing journey is going to be that way. So,
that's true.
Yeah. Is there anything else I want to say on this topic? I do prayers all the time, but every month I do a prayer specifically to prepare me
to do mine. I forgot to do mine this month.
Reflecting on the month I just had and preparing for the month that's coming. Right. And I wrote down my notes for the monthly prayer that I just had, reflecting on February and preparing for March. Right. So I want to share some of those with you because it's so crazy that they're so relevant to what happened recently. Right. So what should I take with me into this new month of March? Number one, the words you speak to yourself are deeply important.
Right.
I've got to learn to have better self-talk with myself, especially when it comes to anything that causes me to be insecure and everything like that. And that's what the great thing about empathy letters. If you want to know more about how to write empathy letters so that you can show yourself the love and the empathy that you deeply deserve and the self-compassion that you deeply deserve, links are always linked in the description box for both YouTube and Spotify, wherever you're watching. For sure. But I provide you with a worksheet to help you with that process. But anyway, that's why empathy letters are so helpful. Right? Number two, you are choosing to step up and lead in a brand new, beautiful way. And that's wonderful. Tapping into your creativity and your healing journey will help you awaken and elevate in amazing ways. I love that I wrote that down. And I love that it really sets the tone for the fact that it's going to help me awaken and elevate in amazing ways. But it's going to be emotional first before it's anything tangible in the 3D. Something tangible like specific numbers and specific wealth. It's going to happen here in my heart first.
Let me reflect on that for a little bit, actually. That manifestation is going to happen with my heart first before it manifests into tangible results with finances and numbers and things like that. That's definitely true. And that's definitely what has been happening. I'm just going to put this up here because I'm done with my steamer. But yeah, that's very true. I'm going to keep putting my hair all over the place. At the same time, I love the way it looks. Doesn't it look so nice? Like, it's just like a salon and It's so gorgeous. Anyway, it is definitely going to happen. I'll just slap myself in the face in my heart first, emotionally first, before things happen tangibly. I wish there was a way that I can track that with numbers, because emotional growth, like, you can see it when you compare yourself from before and after, you know what I mean? But like, I wish like I can track my emotional growth with more numbers that I can like see and reflect on. Well, no, because this podcast, it's not like numbers per se, but I can definitely track my emotional growth and my emotional healing with the podcast. Just comparing how I'm approaching the same with, oh, this is going to be something that I do. This is going to be like a segment, or like a thing that I'll do with this podcast, is rewatching or re-listening and sharing my thoughts, and sharing, like, especially if a certain thing has bubbled up in the past, like how things have changed, how my thoughts may have changed, if I have anything to add on. That is a way to track my progress, to kind of go back into the past and discuss these topics that were very important to my heart and to my soul at the time, and see how things have changed since, how I've approached that same topic since. So I just answered my own question or my own desire. I don't know. This podcast is so important to me for more than one reason. It's more than just output and what I get back. I am getting back so much simply by creating the record for myself and for my loved ones. And that's amazing. And that's incredible. I just need to focus on that value without losing myself in the numbers, forgetting like, oh, what is the value in what I'm doing? This is fucking amazing. The value of this is incredible. I never in a million years thought that so much goodness can happen just for me from that. And maybe it's selfish on the part to just be like, well, I'm going to keep going because this brings me so much joy and so much healing in my own life and in my own reality. But it's not selfish, because I'm sharing it on the chance that it might help others. But damn, this really is incredible, what I'm working on here. I'm really glad that I did this so that I can experience in real time that the work that I'm doing here is meaningful. Yeah, I'm really glad that I did this. Let's do one of my Bible verse cards, one of the small ones. What do we have to say about just this topic, maybe, of like the record, keeping a record of emotional growth and journaling. Journaling is such a huge record of my emotional growth. I feel like I don't tend to look back on my journals because I feel like they're going to make me cringe. Once a year, I got to do it though. Or not. I could just listen to the podcast. It's the same thing. But anyway, 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 11. Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his presence continually. I love how this podcast and the creation of it has increased my relationship with God so meaningfully. Oh. That felt so sweet. I don't know why, but like a little white piece of lint fluttered around and just landed right there on my locks, but like close to like my chest, which was just like, oh, it felt like God saying, I love this too. I love that you're closer to me too. That might be weird to some of you, but that felt really nice to me. I just felt like this wave of just like, yes, I feel this warmth. I feel this warmth with God. I feel this warmth with myself. It's so weird the way this podcast creates this weird relationship between me in the present, me in the past. It almost feels like we're two different people, but we get each other so much, but I'm the same person. I know, isn't it weird? Hearing it back, hearing myself from my past empathize with my present. There's something weird and beautiful about that. And God has such a big role in that. And I'm just so grateful. All right, we're almost done. It's a couple more minutes.
A great ambition for your career and your podcast, but don't let it cause you unnecessary stress. And that's literally what happened. That's literally what happened. We're working on it. We got through it. We got through it today. We made it another day. And now today is a better day, right? But yeah, prepare yourself to receive. Expect good things because they are coming. I have to stay hopeful. Just because I don't see certain results happening right now doesn't mean they're never going to happen. And I need to just stay calm. Stay happy in what I already have and grateful in the abundance that's already happening right in front of my eyes and right here with me. Because more is going to come and it's going to be amazing. Continue learning and drawing healthy boundaries for yourself. Yeah, that's super, super important as well.
I want to talk about just like the gratitude part. One thing, when I was feeling so down, I don't know why, but for some reason, I check my bank account every day and my credit score every day. Not because I need to. And there's no reason for me to. Like sometimes when I'm bored, I'm just like, let's see what's in my bank account. Even though it's the same number that was there like 2 hours ago. I was looking at my bank account. But I think it's pleasurable to me to see what's in my bank account because I'm like, oh, wow, girl. You making something shake. You making something move. Look at you. Look at you. And I love that I'm putting that money in places that matter to me. I'm putting that money in places that are going to feed my soul. The way that I spend, now I could do better with my spending with like Uber Eats and like Amazon and all this stuff. But in my defense, it's hard to shop with where I'm at. It is a little bit hard to shop. So when I move and I'm able to get around very easily, when there's like more shops that are within walking distance or a quick train ride away, I'll be better about that. But I definitely have curved it this month. I've curved it a lot these past 2 weeks, and I'm really proud of myself for that. But as sad as I am about certain aspects of my life, which is like kind of how slowly things have been moving with the podcast, there are other areas of my life that have been so wonderful and incredible and amazing, and I have to remember that. And I do. I look at that account every day, and every time I get a little something in there, it just woo! It makes me so happy. I don't make much. I'm not like, it's nothing like too exciting, but it's exciting for me just because, this is different than what I've experienced before. I've never had as much financial stability as I have right now. And I got a raise. I got a raise at work, which was super nice. I didn't even know I was up for a raise. So that made me super happy. There are good things happening here. Life, like, it would be amazing if every single thing in our lives was amazing and at the same time, but that's not usually how that works. There are going to be parts of your life that are really, really amazing. And then parts where it's just like, I wish this was a little bit different. And it's just like, you have to just insist on being happy at a certain point. You can't just be so caught up in the 1-2 things that are just going wrong when there are so many other things that are going right. You have to maintain that perspective, still work towards the things that you want to work towards for sure. But yeah, we have to just, you know what I'm saying? We have to just maintain our perspective and remember to be grateful. Gratitude is essential. It's important. All right. Which deck? I feel like I didn't use the vertical cards yet, the vertical Bible study cards yet. Or Bible verse cards. So let's try that. Philippians chapter 4, verse 7. I like this one a lot. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. And that's what gratitude brings, a peace. It brings this peace. Even though I don't always understand why things are happening in the way that they are, when I choose to be grateful for the things that are wonderful, for the pockets of happiness around me that are right here, it just allows me to be at peace with the things that aren't necessarily going the best without needing an explanation, without needing an understanding for it. I could just be like, okay, let's just chill out. You're okay right now. It'll be all right. It'll be fine. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then I wrote like an arrow from that to this, like kind of indenting the page in my notebook. Oh, why would I? It says, stay the course. There are a lot of sacrifices that you're making for your own better good. And while it's hard and there are things that you deeply want, you know what you need. And while you're willing to stay suspended for a while and wait patiently for the future you know you want and deeply need, think of the love and the community that you're hoping to cultivate. Remember your why and remember that it's coming. It's out there for you. It may feel so far away and impossible, and you may feel hidden in plain sight from the people you deeply want to connect with. But remember, you truly deserve it, and it is coming. You're almost there. Fuck. Just reading that gave me chills. That's exactly what I needed. Fuck. I'm still just in awe that I wrote that down. It's so crazy how you just look back on the things you wrote down before and how they show up for you in beautiful ways in the present and in the future later down the line. And they were exactly what you needed. I think this is a perfect place to wrap up the podcast. I feel like there's more in my heart to say, but this is a beautiful place to pause. Wherever you are, if you've been making sacrifices that weren't easy, but you knew that they were for your better good, stay the course. It's not pleasant to stay suspended and to wait, but it will be worth it. In the meantime, try to look for little pockets of happiness wherever you can, and know that if you're listening, if anybody's out there that feels this way, that I see you, that I hear you, that I feel you, that I'm right there with you, that you are not alone. Whether it's for your content creator journey or for any journey that you're on, it's okay. What you want, the future you're hoping to cultivate, it is out there for you. And I'm super excited for the day where it all comes into fruition for the both of us. Wherever you guys are in the world, I truly hope from the bottom of my heart that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.
Why did that get me emotional? Why did that get me emotional? Oh my god, that was exactly what I needed. What the fuck? Like, that was exactly what I needed. And I made it so long ago, and it was based on a journal entry that I made even further back. Like, how? Oh god. And it's crazy because the whole thing is like you're not alone. But like technically I am because I'm talking to myself, but I really don't feel alone just because I heard myself say it. Like, it doesn't feel like me. It feels like another version of me. It feels like another person that just said everything that I needed to hear. And it's me. Like, that, what? That feels freaky. That feels weird, but it's so nice. It's so nice. I don't know what to say. I'm proud of that version of me for making it's the same me, bitch. Like, I'm proud of myself for making this podcast. I'm immensely proud of the work that I do because if it can impact me like this, like, it will help someone. It will help others. I'm really proud. Okay. Which deck to sign us off? Feels like it's gonna be this one. I'm gonna just take the one that's right here, just because the back, I don't know, the back artwork really just drew me in, but I'm going to take one more after shuffling. This is so sweet in context. It's Philippians chapter 1, verse 3. I thank my God every time I remember you. I feel like such a narcissist, but the way I'm talking about myself, my past self, but I really mean it. Like, I thank God that I remember myself from back then. I thank God I remember that I made this, that I can listen back to it, especially in a moment like this where I just didn't have the energy to do all the work, to work through the shit, like to work through the emotions, to do all that journaling, to find the answer again. I can just hear the answer that I needed and remember. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Next, Psalms chapter 107, verse 1. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. I don't think I have anything to say after that. That is the perfect way to end today's podcast. I hope you found this healing and helpful. It definitely was for me. Like, subscribe, share if it resonates with you to do so. And wherever you are in the world, you guys, I hope from the bottom of my heart that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Take care now. Bye.